back, children, to the part 2 of Lifelines of Indian Economy. In this video, we are going to look at the important concepts related to the remaining parts of the lifeline of Indian economy. That is, waterways, roadways, mass communication, and also a look into why tourism is taken as a trade and is also considered as one of the lifelines of the Indian economy. Now let's look at the next lifeline of the Indian economy, that is waterways. It is the cheapest means of transport. It is suitable for carrying heavy and bulky goods. It is fuel efficient and environment friendly mode of transport. India has an inland navigation waterways of 14,000 kilometers in length. Waterways that have been declared as national waterways by the government are National Waterways number 1, that is the Ganga River between Allahabad and Haldia. National Waterways number 2, that is the Brahmaputra River between Saadia and Durbi. National Waterways number 3, that is the West Coast Canals in Kerala, Kottapuram to Kollam, Udaganmandalam to Champaran Canals. Waterways number 4, specified stretch of Godavari and Krishna, along with Kakinada and Puducherry stretch of canals. And the last one, that is waterways number 5, specified stretch of river Brahmani along with Matari River, delta channels of Mahanandi and Brahmani rivers, and the east coast canals. Children, these national waterways are very important for the exam point of view, so kindly memorize them without fail. India's trade with foreign countries is carried from the ports along the coast. 95% of the country's trade volume is moved by the ports. India has a long coastline of 7,516.6 kilometers with 12 and 185 notified minor and intermediate ports. The major ports handles 95% of India's foreign trade. Now let's look at some of the major seaports. Ports on the western coast. First one is the Kandal coast, which is a tidal port. Then we have the Mumbai port, which is a natural and well-sheltered port. Followed by that, we have another port, which is called the Jawaharlal Nehru port. Then we have the Margova port, which is famous for iron ore export. Then we have the New Mangalore port in Karnataka, which is caters to the export of iron ore. Now let's look at the eastern coast. First we have the Tuticorin port, which is the extension of the southeast coast. Then comes the Chennai port, which has an old artificial port. Visakhapatnam port, which is the deepest landlocked and well-protected port. Then we have the Pardeep port, which is for export of iron ore. Then we have the Kolkata port, which is a Rivera port. Then last comes the Haldia port. So all these ports plays an important role in transporting goods from India to the western side and from India to the eastern side and vice versa. Children, these ports are very important from the exam point of view, both as map questions and also 1 marks. Please study the ports and its importance. This will help you answer questions which is given in the boards. Airways, fastest, most comfortable and most prestige mode of transport. It can cover very difficult terrains like high mountains, deadly deserts, dense forests, and also long oceanic stretches with great ease. There are 2 types of airports in India, international airport and domestic airport. International airports where flight from India to other foreign countries take off and land, and domestic airports where flights from one state of India to another takes off and land. The air transportation was nationalized in 1953. Some of the major air transports are Air India, Indian Airlines, private airlines such as Jet Airways, SpiceJet, Indigo, etc. Now let's look at Pawan Hans Helicopter Limited. What is the importance of this? Pawan Hans Helicopter Limited provides helicopter service to oil and natural gas commission in its offshore operation to inaccessible areas and difficult terrain. Now let's look at the merits and demerits of air transport. First, the merits. Fastest and most comfortable means of transport. Number 2, it can cover any difficult terrains with great ease, such as mountains, deserts, etc. It provides service to the inaccessible areas and hilly areas such as Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal, Uttarakhand and the northeastern parts of our country. The last one, doing natural and man-made calamities such as droughts, earthquake and other disaster, air travel plays a very crucial role. Now let's look at the disadvantages. It is a very expensive mode of transport, so it is not available to an average citizen. Number 2, locations that do not have airport or helipad are not protected. Communication. What is meant by communication? Communication is an act of transmission and reception of information. Or in simple language, it is an exchange of ideas from one person to another or from one person to the masses. Communication can be classified into 2 categories, personal and mass. Well, children, you would have learned all this in your previous classes, but I'm just doing a recapitulation or a recap of this concept. Now let's look into personal communication. Personal communication means between person to person. In this communication, only personal information are exchanged. It includes postcards, letters, telegram, telephones and email. Mass communication means passing information to the masses. It provides entertainment as well as awareness about various national programs. Mass communication is done through radios, television, newspapers, magazines, films, etc. Like I said earlier, mass communication provides entertainment, create awareness among the people about different national programs and policies. Now let's look at radio. All India Radio or Agashwani broadcast a varieties of programs in national, regional and local language for the various categories of people spread across in different parts of our country. Television, Doordarshan, the national television channel of India, is one of the largest television network in the world. Magazines. India publishes a large number of newspapers and periodicals annually. Film. India is the largest producer of feature films in the world. So these are all different ways in which mass communication takes place. Now let's look at Indian Postal Network. Indian Postal Network is the largest in the world. It handles parcels as well as personal written communication. Now what is this first class mail? First class mail is an airlifted between stations covering both land and air. It includes cards and envelopes. Second class mail, they are carried by surface mail covering land and water transport, books, packets, registered newspaper periodically. India also has the largest telecom network in the world. Now let's understand what is meant by trade, market and international trade. Trade means exchange of goods among people, states and countries. Market refers to a place where such exchange takes place. International trade means trade between two countries. It may take place through sea, air, or land route. Now, next thing we should understand what is balance of trade. The balance of trade of a country is the difference between export and import. There are two types of balance of trade, children. One is a favorable balance of trade and other one is an unfavorable balance of trade. So what is meant by a favorable balance of trade? When the value of export exceeds the value of imports, or when the exports are more than the import, then it is called a favorable balance of trade. So what is unfavorable balance of trade? Just the opposite. When the value of imports are more than the export, or when a country's import is more than the export, it is called unfavorable balance of trade. Favorable balance of trade will bring a rise in the economic growth and increase the GDP, whereas the unfavorable balance of trade will result in a negative growth of the country. Tourism as a trade. What is meant by tourism, children? In simple language, it means visiting another country to know about its culture, tradition, etc. What are the different types of tourism? Heritage tourism, ecotourism, adventure tourism, culture tourism, medical tourism, and business tourism. Now, what are the reasons, main reasons that the foreigners comes to India? One, to broaden cultural awareness. Number two, economically viable. Number three, it is India's hospitality is worldwide famous. Atiti Devo Bhava. Number four, it's an avenue to explore spirituality through yoga and meditation. Number five, Indian cuisine is world famous. And the last one, India has several heritage and architecture attractions. Regional handicraft and ethnic designs of traditional products attract tourists. Now, how does it help in the economic growth of the country? Nearly 15 million people are engaged in the tourism industry. It promotes national integrity. It gives support to local handicraft and culture. It helps to develop international understanding about Indian culture and heritage. Well, children, we come to the end of this chapter. Hope all the concepts of lifeline of Indian economy is very clear to you. I will be back again with another interesting video. Till then, take care and bye.